tzafon.
I don't know what happened. It was stopped.
Okay. So even, maybe I would think that the Kohen doesn't have, maybe you don't have to, a Kohen doesn't have to do the shechita. Im kein nema kroki chatas hu, my kachatas ashamu, kishar shamus, yeah, that it should be treated like all other ashamas that require a Kohen. Okay. Lamali lakshui lechatas. Lamali lakshui leoila. It says, bimkom asher yishchatas hachatas v'sa'ola. The asham has to be shechted in the place of the chatas and the oila. Now, why did you have to mention both? Just say you have to shecht the asham in the place that you do the oila. Why did it have to say it's hachatas v'sa'ola? Omer Ravina Yitztrich, we need it. If it had only been said like the chatas, not the oila, hava mina chatas meichem lamda. Where bichlal did you learn that a chatas has to be shechted in the north? Me'ola. And then you would have to use davar alamid behekesh, choizrim lamid behekesh, which by kochim doesn't work. So that's why I needed specifically the pasuk to mention the ola directly, so I don't have to learn it behekesh, because you can't learn a hekesh in kochim and then to another hekesh. So again, why mention both? Again, just mention ola, not chatas. So havamina davar lamid behekesh, choizrim lamid behekesh. Because if so, I would have thought that by kochim you could learn this sort of double action hekesh. And the chitem nikshi akushil chates. And if I make a hekesh that the asham will be compared to a chates, it would make more sense to do it. The whole source of tzafon comes from ola. That's the ikr, not the tafel. La'achi akshel chates. And actually, it needed both. It was written before in the pasuk. Otherwise, we would have to learn a double hekesh. A double hekesh doesn't work by kochim, and so this teaches me this principle that davar alamed behekesh by kochim is eina choizrim alamed behekesh. Rava Omar, we learn that klaf from something else. Meihacha, dichsiv, by the par that the Kohen Gadol has to bring when he makes a mistake in psak. It says that the emurim have to be offered on the mizbech. Kasher yura mishor zevach hashlomim. Just like the emurim of a shlomim is put on the mizbech, so too the par kohen mashiach. Lamai hilchasa, for what specific halacha? There was fat on the liver and the two kidneys. Beguf eksiv. It's written beferish that those have to be put on the mizbeach. You didn't have to learn that from a hekesh. On Rav Papa, mishum de boy agmori al yosres hakavidish kloyos mi parhalim davar shul tzibur. No, you have to teach that din of yosres hakavidish kloyos through a hekesh to parhalim davar shul tzibur and serve a zara. Beguf eloksiv. It's not written beferish by the parhalim davar. Doesn't say. And it's learned me par kohen mashiach de gomar. Loch itzrich kasher yuram. So the pasuk had to say kasher yuram. The nevi commanded because of begufe, as if it was written befeirush. V'lo nevi davar lamed behekesh choizrim lamed behekesh. Otherwise, we would be learning a double hekesh, A to B, B to C, and bekochim we don't learn that. Rava learns that yisod from that halacha, from the par, rather than from what we said about the asham. Amler Papa Rava. Why did the Torah write by the parliament over kasher yuram, and you didn't need the hekesh? Another way to get around it. So the Rava says no. Because of begufe v'lo hekesh, if it would have written kasher yuram without a hekesh, havamina davar lamed behekesh chozrim lamed behekesh, then I would have had this double hekesh. So why not? Nichale the kasher begufe min ha'akesh lehakush. Better that the Torah would write it and learn it by the hekesh. Lochi kasrev akshay. So you wrote it, but then you learned one hekesh. And lemeimra the davar alav hekesh ein chosrim lav hekesh. You can't learn a double hekesh, only a single hekesh. Okay. Since we've been shown this yesod of various rules in Drush that don't apply to Kotshim, the Gemara is going to go through other midos, the way we darshan halacha, how they apply to Kotshim as well. And there's a siman, Hekesh Gzer Shava Kal V'chomer siman. So, Dover Alami Behekesh Ein Chozrim Lami Behekesh. How do we know that? Then Ime Rava, right? Rava said it's from this Parhelim Dover business. Ime Ravina, which was before. Okay. What about something that is learned Behekesh, and now can we turn around and learn it to a Gzer Shava somewhere else? Dover Alami Behekesh Marshi Lami B'Gzer Shava. Toshma. Rav Nosson ben Avtumis Oimer. Minayin lepricha bibgodim. We know that there's a din of tsaras by a human being. There is a din of tsaras in clothing. And there's a din of tsaras in batim, in houses. First, Hashem afflicts our house. If we don't listen to the warning, he afflicts our clothing. If we don't listen even after that, then we get it on our bodies. That's what the Torah tells us. The halacha in Negoim by Bgodim, that if there's Negoim in 100% of the beged, he tahira. How do we know this? There's a special din. If the whole beged has Negoim, it's tahor. Nemar karachas v'gabachas b'bgodim. The nemar karachas v'gabachas ba'adam, which are types of tsaras. Mala halon by an adam. Parach b'kulo tahor. If the whole human being is covered with these, he's tahor. Avkan by begodim, parach bekulo tahor. If the whole beged has the negoim, it's tahor. Bahasami nolon. Now by karachas v'gabachas, it doesn't mention the whole body. It just says it's on your head. It doesn't say the din that if it's on your whole body, you're tahor. It's just on your head, dichsiv. It says v'chista tsaras. If the tsaras covers es kol ora nega me roshova ad raglav. So the hekesh is from the head to the feet. Iskish roisha l'regel. The negoim of the head is compared to the negoim of the goof. Malahalan kulo hafach lavan parach b'kulo tor. That if you have it, in your whole head, it's Torah Avkan, or by the rest of the body, it's Torah Avkan by your head, Kula Afach Lavan Parach B'Kula Torah. So we learned it from Gzeira Shava, from Nigei Arosh to Nigei B'Godim, which is initially was learned from a Hekesh. So on Rav Yochanan, and that seems to suggest that we're allowed to learn it that way. On Rav Yochanan says there's no proof. B'chol Torah kula lemeidin lamed mi lamed. Something that was learned through a drasha can be taught through another drasha everywhere in Torah. Chutz min hakodshim she'ein donin lamed mi lamed. Because im kain lo yomer tzafona ba'asham. The Torah would have been silent by shchita b'tzafon by nasham. Because it's learned from a hekesh, la'ola v'chatas. V'teisa b'gzera shava by kodshe kodshim echatos. A chatas is a kodshe kodshim, so is an asham. So we could have said b'gzera shava, madach kodshe kodshim by chatas, it says both things, kodesh kadoshim. We could have learned it the same thing to asham. Why did we need this special limud by shchitas tzafim by asham? Lav lamema to teach me Dover alami behekesh ein chozrim alami b'gzer shava. Something that is learned initially through an hekesh cannot turn around and be used as a gzer shava. Because chadas itself was learned by a hekesh from Olam. So the Gemara rejects that. Maybe Dilma, maybe there was a special reason that we didn't learn chatas la'asham, not because of this reason, because of the rule of ein choizrim alamid b'gzer shava, maybe shum dikil mifrach malachata shechein mechaperes l'chavi krisus. You can't learn from chatas to asham because the chatas is more stringent than an ashram because a chatas is mechaper for averis that you get kares for, and an ashram is not. So the Gemara answers we wouldn't have been able to break the Gzeir Shava using that logic alone. Because Kodshe Kodshim Yiseriksivi. When it's because there are multiple times the Torah uses Kodshe Kodshim. Rashi says Avle Gzeir Shava Mufta Mishnei Tzodim. The words Kodshe Kodoshim are free and clear on both sides. It says by a chatas Tishachet Chatas Kodesh Kodeshim Hu. And by Oshim it says Zos Tras Oshim Kodesh Kodeshim Hu. And then by both of them it says L'chol Chatasam L'chol Hashamam Asher Yashivu Li Kodesh Kodeshim L'cha. So there's multiple Kodesh Kodeshim based on just that svara that a Chatas has a chorus. We wouldn't have been able to reject the Gzeir Shava. So rather, the reason why we don't learn it is because of this principle by Kodshim that Dover Alamid Be'ekesh and Chodshim Alamid B'Gzeir Shava. Okay. And we're going to continue in this vein for a little bit. Tomorrow we will learn at 7 o'clock. Okay, spring forward, fall back. So we turn the clock back tonight. So Mincha will be very early, like 4:40. So Daf Yomi will be at 7. And Sefer Esther will be at 8, God willing, tomorrow.
Okay, sure.
Shavua Tov, everybody.
Good night.